welcome to episode 25 of Me Dark Presents.
Woo! That's a quarter of a way to 100.
Yes.
Almost there.
We're a quarter to 100 episodes. Yeah, I mean, we're back now again with a Scary Movie Madness on the back of the last pod where we did a epic game night with your cousin Michael.
Yep.
Then, you know, things are starting to kind of push a little bit back more towards normal now. So I was working in the office all last week, and it was just a busy week all around for both of us, and we totally missed the podcast.
Yeah, we had way too much life.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah. Couldn't make it happen, but we got a break.
Yeah. So we're going to try to squeeze in one here. We're just going to do one movie. And then I wanted to debut a new game with you here.
Oh, God. I can't wait for this.
I'm calling it Guess Who. Okay?
Yep.
Because I think next pod after this, we're going to do another game night with another special guest.
Yep.
And we've been trying to think of, you know, new games to introduce in place. So we're not doing the same things over and over again because you and I can never stay in one place.
Never.
So we'll do a game night again. But I thought, okay, because we're just doing the one movie, this might be a little bit of a quicker podcast, but nice to throw a game in at the end just to try out.
Yeah. I love that.
So I'm calling it Guess Who. The game is going to be, I'm going to show you a photo of a celebrity, but their gender has been swapped. So you're going to see, you know, if it's a female celebrity, you'll see the male version, and then you have to see if you can pick out who it is and vice versa.
I think I'm going to be good at this.
I think you're probably going to get them all right. Yeah. And if I had more time to really build this game, I probably would have done a lot more trial and error in like picking ones that I felt were like hard to guess. But I had to go through today with just like celebrities that came off the top of my head, search them, find a photo, run it through the app, and then just like I couldn't nitpick it.
Yeah. It's a trial run.
Yeah. But after looking at them, I'm like you're so good with celebrities and faces. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you'll pick out somebody like in a movie and you'll be like, oh, that's so-and-so from this other thing. But it's just her like 10 years younger.
Yeah.
You'll always be able to pick that out.
Or like I've gotten siblings.
Yes, you have gotten. You're like, that has to be so-and-so's brother.
Yeah.
And then sure enough,
I'm good at
is. You're good at that.
There's like an aura about it. Like when I see things like that, it triggers something in my brain where I have to think about who and where I saw it. So I have like this little Rolodex I run through.
No, I get that. I think everybody has like those little triggers that go off that it's like in some sort of like context that comes up in everyday life. It fires off like a certain neuron where it's like it's almost like you focus too much or think too hard about.
Yes.
And it's
big
like
time.
Yeah. And so now you can't get it out of your head that like, I recognize this person. Where do I recognize them from? And then meanwhile, the movie's just going.
Oh, yeah. I won't even be paying an ounce of attention.
Right.
Until like 10 minutes, I go, oh, that's who it is. And then I can pay attention again.
Yeah, you'll go to your phone and you'll start like looking things up to try to jar your memory or like get the next clue to figure out who it was.
Going deep into my FBI files.
Oh my God. So yeah, we did watch two movies, but the second one ended up being in German and you were kind of drifting in and out of sleep. And
yeah.
I was kind of, I don't know.
Not a good sign.
And you know what? I wasn't really like too into it. It's a movie called Loose. L-U-Z. You said it was a name, Loose.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I had a girl in my classes, and her name was Luce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's a very Hispanic name. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I remember when it came up on the screen, I'm like, oh.
I had no idea what this movie was until yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I was on the horror subreddit, and somebody had asked the question, you know, what's the best horror movies from the last 2-3 years? Mm-hmm. Which was kind of like what you and I had been focusing on with these horror movies.
Yeah.
As of late, is like we wanted to try to get ones that were a little more recent.
Yep.
And this one was one of them where I was just reading the description and I was like, okay, that one sounds like it could be actually scary. And then when we turned it on, and it was in a different language. It's in multiple languages. There's like, they speak English, they speak Spanish, they
I was
speak
gonna
German.
say, I remember it being like, at first I was like, wait, is that German?
Yeah.
And it's like, wait,
some
now?
of the characters speak Spanish. Some,
Yeah, it was all over the place. It's just, I mean, I was trying hard to stay awake, I'll say that, but it doesn't help when like there was no peak. You know, there wasn't even valleys. I felt like it was the same tension level.
They do sort of, yeah. There's an idea, and they just keep rehashing the idea over and over again because it's a possession thing, essentially. And this thing is just jumping from body to body, ultimately to get into Luce's body for some reason.
But the jump isn't even scary.
No, it's like a kiss.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
With
it's
like a light that comes out. Yeah.
It's all the same tension level.
But the demon just keeps repeating its ritual thing over and over again, you know, and it just, I don't know. It has some interesting visuals to it.
Yeah.
I'll say that. And, you know, there are moments that creep me out. But overall, I was like, you know what? It was fine that you fell asleep because I don't know that I really had much to talk about. I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say about
we're done
the
on
movie,
you.
honestly. Yeah. But this other one we watched called Unsane from 2018. This one was another one that was on that subreddit list. And I saw that it was directed by Steven Soderbergh and that it was shot completely on an iPhone 7 in 4K.
Yeah.
Which I guess must have been, I'm going to guess iPhone 7 was probably the first iPhone that shot 4K.
I think so.
Probably around there is where they introduced it.
Yeah.
But really interesting. And they use this third-party app called FiLMiC Pro, which is actually how we film this podcast, is using that app. So I was like, oh, this is interesting because Steven Soderbergh, obviously, he's done a ton of stuff in Hollywood. He doesn't make the kind of movies that I tend to like. Like he did like Erin Brockovich and Traffic and Magic Mike, like that kind of stuff.
Yep.
He did do the Oceans series, like Ocean's 11 and that stuff.
Those are great.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a ton of like really marquee titles, you know, under his belt. So I was like, cool. It's a well-known director that I know usually has great work. And it's got this little kitschy thing where they've shot it on an iPhone.
Yep.
Which I wonder, you can probably shoot a killer movie on these new iPhones.
Yeah. I mean,
Holy
you have,
crap.
especially if you have more than one, because you have all the different lens options, the focuses, like there's so many things built in.
It's amazing. Like I'm starting to think like, I wonder if the movie industry at some point, just based on all the technology and the movie making ability that people have on their like phones and consumer level laptops, like, is it going to be like way more movies coming out from way more people because the buy-in to make a movie at some point is just going to be so low. It's like what happened with music, right? When you could bring the studio into the home, like, you know, I basically became a home music producer.
Yeah, you didn't have to go somewhere and pay somebody because it was what you were, especially growing up in a time where computers was a luxury kind of still. So the kids who did have them and use them were learning everything.
You can do it on very small budgets even these days. But you can basically record and produce yourself, right? Right from your bedroom.
Yeah.
And the quality is just getting better and better and easier to do on your own. And that's what I mean about like, okay, if you can film a whole movie on an iPhone now, and it starts to be that people can shoot really high quality footage with very little budget. You know, I'm wondering if like that's going to be a new wave with like that industry. Yeah,
because I mean, it's the new music, like you're saying. Like kids in our generation on computers dove into things and learned how to do them themselves. That's exactly what that age brought. And then there's this gap of time where you kind of see people just felt comfortable. Yeah. And so there's not as much of that. I use computers to learn, but we're getting back to that where you're seeing the TikToks of the world and, you know, the Insta TVs and all that, whatever you call it.
Some people are very creative with it.
Yeah. Sure. So it's like, again, to your point, these kids are creative on their phones. And now you're making the phones as powerful as, you know, $5,000 cameras.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. So I love that they did this little experiment.
Yeah.
Because I think it suits the movie really well. The way that this iPhone shoots, it has a certain quality to it that it gives the film a look. It gives it a vibe.
Yeah.
You know?
It feels more real almost. It's
Yeah,
through the
kinda.
lens of your own camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how genius of Apple to just do that whole shot on an iPhone campaign. Because
Yeah.
that's probably, a big part of that too.
Well, when it comes to marketing, Apple just
Yeah.
they knock it out of the park
Genius.
every time. So this one has, I think it has a nice little story to it too, and strong characters. So we have a young woman named Sawyer Valentini.
Yep.
Beautiful name, played by Claire Foy. And the whole premise of this one basically is she gets committed to a mental institution, but involuntarily, although kind of voluntarily, right? Because she's sort of duped into signing this release form.
Yep.
At least she thought. And then she ends up getting stuck at this mental hospital. The whole setup here is she's moved far away from her friends and family, right? Because she had this stalker. Right. So she's like, I can't shake this guy. I have to just move away from everything and everyone I know.
Yep.
And I have to go to this new town and be alone because I'm so terrified of my stalker. Could you fucking imagine if you had a stalker so bad that you're like, well, that's it. Everything I've done up to this point, everybody I know, I have to just bail on it and get the fuck out of here by myself.
No shot. I'd probably kill him first myself.
Oh, you would go after him?
Yeah, no, fuck that. Why do I gotta run?
No, I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean,
You gotta claim your life.
exactly. Like, I know those kind of things suck, but like, if it's that serious anyway, where you have to move, it doesn't matter if you move.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier said than done, though, right? Or I guess,
Yeah.
although I guess you could hire.
If you had no attachments,
you
I
could
guess.
hire somebody to murder him for you.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's probably the better way to go.
I mean,
You want to risk like trying to like get the jump on this guy, and
He
like
seemed dumb enough to poison. Don't kid yourself.
I don't know. He does seem dumb, but he's kind of smart at the same time in this. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, he's outsmarting dumb people.
Well,
Not that
nonetheless, she,
difficult.
this is her decision is like, get the fuck out of here. So
Yep.
she doesn't have great interactions with men as a result, right?
Right.
What is the first thing we really see her do outside of work is she's online dating. Mm-hmm. You remember this scene at the bar?
This is the yeah. This is when you turned to me and
Mm-hmm.
you said, "No, I don't understand. Like
Right.
this takes all the joy out of it." And I'm like, "Mark just wants it to be difficult." Like
Yeah.
you were so
Well, because
turned off by the
essentially
fact
that's-
of like I have nothing to chase here.
Well, that's kind of what the date was. It was
Yeah.
like it became clear that she's just going on these dates basically to have sex, I guess.
Yeah.
But, she just puts it out there, right in his
Straight
face,
up.
like, all right, tonight's going to go exactly how you want it to go. But just so you know, after that's all said and done, you don't know me, you don't contact me. It's like we've never met.
Yeah. She was, really just using it as a hookup app.
Absolutely. So I said to you, if that was me, if I was that guy on that date, I would fucking leave. I would fucking leave. Because first of all, there's so many red flags to everything that she says.
Of course.
And it's like I said to you, I was like, she better be looking a lot better than that. Not that she's not an ugly person, like she's an attractive girl, but like that's kind of sticking your dick in crazy a little bit.
You know all about that.
Yeah. Well,
Yourself.
we're not going to go there. I just thought that was just funny.
It definitely is. It definitely is. But it's so true at the same time. Like, it's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Like, I could never imagine ever being like that, but maybe I'm old fashioned.
I don't know. What I guess what it comes down to, though, is like I'm probably still in the minority there. Like most guys would just be like, whatever. That's fine. I'll just
Yeah,
have
right,
sex.
let's do this then.
I'll just have sex with her, and then it's like we never met. Who cares?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, there's this other girl I was swiping right on, so.
I don't know. There's
Or
something
left.
like that. I don't know. I'm just not into that.
Yeah.
So she makes an appointment to go see this counselor, right, at a place called Highland Creek Behavioral Center. So this is our mental hospital.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but my question is it normal? Like if you're going to counseling for something, right? She's going just to speak with somebody because she's dealing with all this shit, moving away, being alone, the stalker guy, you know, having these poor relationships with men that don't go anywhere, her dead end job. So she's got all this fucking baggage that she's bringing there. But when you go to a counselor like that, are they typically located like inside the mental hospital? I always thought of it was like an office building with like offices that you would go in. Are they attached to the she's actually at the mental institution getting counseling? It's strange.
Yeah, they generally are because it is still partly a hospital. You know what I mean? So it's like going to see a doctor.
Yeah, no, I guess it
like
makes
front
sense
end
because
and a back end.
Yeah, well, of course there would be counselors probably constantly at the mental institution, right?
Yeah.
Because at any given moment, they probably, if a patient requests it, if they want to see a counselor, that they need somebody available.
Yeah.
But I just thought that they were specialized counselors for the patients.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was any kind of crossover where they would also treat like, oh, you and I need to make an appointment. We go to that same counselor.
I didn't see any problem with it because it is a medical facility. So they would have everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, especially a mental facility, mental health facility, because there's so many different things that go on there. You have to have a medical center nearby. So it can't just be treatment.
Yeah, I guess I buy it. I was just, I don't know. I guess I always envisioned it different. Like you would go into some like, you know, corny office building with like the bad lighting.
Oh my God.
I mean, not that the mental institution has great lighting, but
yeah.
I mean, well, we even we made the comment of her the place where she works, that office. How depressing is it?
Okay.
Right?
I mean, I lived that experience and left so fast.
You have to.
I would rather have spent the rest of my life as a Hooters girl than ever work in offices like that again.
100%. I would rather work as a Hooters girl than be in an office like I swear, if I was going on a job interview and that was the office, I would say, I'm sorry, I don't want to work here anymore.
I mean, yeah,
Colors,
and the brown carpet and the gray cubicles.
And the drop ceiling and the neon lights or whatever the fuck
no
they got
windows.
going on.
You don't fucking know what time of day it is so that you slave your life away. Like, that life is garbage.
Garbage with all the cubicles and shit.
Yeah. 100, like, no shot.
I don't know how anybody does that.
That's literal torture.
It sounds torturous. It looks torturous.
Yeah. And then you're going to tell me what I have to wear?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Ugh, that was one of the most horrific parts of the movie for you and I is how depressing
I just started
her office
reminiscing
was.
on all of it. And I was
know.
like, ugh. When I was an intern, my first job, I was like, this is awful. Ugh.
So she has her download session with this counselor.
Yep.
And the counselor kind of baits her into this whole question that I'm sure they ask a lot of people about. Have you ever thought of taking your own life? Mm-hmm. Right? I'm sure at some point, and if you go to therapy, your therapist may have asked you this question at some point.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're there for your mental health.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, she sort of has like not the cleanest answer to the question. And this sort of presents the counselor with an opening or a slight reason to hold her for observation. But in order to do this, she knows that she needs consent, that Sawyer still has to, at that point, voluntarily like sign a waiver that says, okay, you can hold me for observation.
Right.
So they trick her. She thinks
it's formality.
Yeah, she thinks she's signing something else. And I mean, what are the legal ramifications of that? Can you really get away with that?
You definitely can. I mean, these are private facilities. They're private for-profit facilities, you know? And like they kind of outline with one of the characters, it's just all about how much your insurance is willing to pay.
Right.
So anything you do is an infraction that causes them to have the right to say, oh, she needs
Right.
18 more hours, this, that. So it does start to just add up until you can't pay. And then it's like, you've done great. It's time to go.
What a nightmare system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
just go. And that's kind of what, it's kind of what draws me into this movie the most is I really like this.
Real life terror.
Yeah, I like this story. I like this concept of.
It could happen to me.
Yeah, like I can believe that our system is so flawed that this is possible to happen, where if you have an unethical practice that just really wants to keep their beds full of patients all the time because that's how they maximize their insurance claim money.
Mm-hmm.
That is the shadiest fucking thing that you can do with people's mental health like that. I mean, that is, and not only that, like at that point you are capturing sane people also and holding them in this terrible situation that anybody would have a mental break from. Yeah,
but it's so realistic. So even during COVID, someone I know who works in hospitals said that there was a lot of things that they were doing to skirt around closures and things like that, you know, and that they were getting away with. Yeah. Just to be able to make sure that they didn't have to label another ICU, which would shut down the hospital on this and that. So like lots of shady shit.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem ridiculous that this could happen.
Yeah, that's just it. I'm sure for the most part it doesn't. It's just the possibility that it can is horrific. Yeah. So she gets now stuck there for 24 hours. You know, they strip her clothes from her. They take all of her belongings, her phone, everything. She has nothing. She's in now a gown in a random bed with, I didn't realize this either, that these places are just one big open room with all these beds. It's not like you have your own room or you share a double room or something like that. No space.
No personal space at all.
See, this is what I don't understand is like, why are these the facilities that we've developed to help people who are mentally unstable?
Because everything
How is this environment beneficial to their minds in any way?
Everything is, you know, treat people with illnesses as prisoners. That's what you're doing.
Interesting. See, I'm not an expert, so like I don't know. Like maybe that is proper procedure. Maybe it's like, no, you just need to keep them in one big room socialized and just, you know, make sure they don't hurt anybody. And that's the best we can do. Yeah.
But that's just crazy to me because there may be some people that need that type of interaction of being around other people and that's their disorder. And then there may be people who need to be alone. Right. But that's what those facilities should cater to. Right. You know, you should be catering to keeping those people comfortable to then rehabilitate them. But instead we treat it as like a crazy house where just these people are just here and there's nothing we can do. Like it's just a picture of what it is to have mental health issues in the US.
Yeah, well, that sort of adds a nice layer though to this, I feel,
the capitalistic nature of this.
Yes. And you know, also I just feel like when you have a set piece where like you're in a mental institution, right? The majority of the characters are, you know, they're characters, man, because they have to pay off as why is this person here in this facility? They need to sort of be like outrageously different in some way. Yeah. And so I always love movies like this that have these kind of characters to it. Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I just love that backdrop for
Orange
a movie.
Is the New Black.
Yeah, very similar. So she gets into a fight with one of these characters, right? Of course. Violet, played by Juno Temple. I forget exactly how it happens, but she gets provoked by Violet. And she's so frustrated with the whole situation that she just snaps and basically physically assaults her or starts a fight. On top of that, I think in the scuffle, she hits one of the staff members too on top of it. So it's like, all right, this 24-hour observation's not going well like 3 hours in.
She came in swinging. Straight up swinging.
So as a result, it's like they add to her sentence, right? They're like, well, now we got to keep you for 7 days.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's the part that's wild to me, though.
That doesn't make any sense.
Who makes these rules of when you get to say that the 24 hours I agreed to is now no longer my decision?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
And not only that, like, you didn't really agree to the 24 hours. They tricked you into signing something that you didn't really read. Fine. But can they legally say this is this, meanwhile it's something else?
Right. Give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe some people went there wanting to be admitted, of course, right? Mm-hmm. But come on. Like, come on. We know what's happening here.
I get why that is an option, to like voluntarily agree to sign yourself in for 24-hour observation, but I don't agree that you should be able to trick somebody into signing.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's crossing a line at that point.
And that's what's it's kind of cool, because from that standpoint, when you're watching it for the first time, you're kind of like, this is kind of getting a little unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But what's kind of cool, like, they do this thing where she calls her mom, which I love, because she calls the police and they don't do shit.
Well, the girl goes, you know how many of those they get a day?
Yeah, exactly.
They ain't coming.
Right.
You wasted your call. Like,
and what's funny is I think they do actually stop by, but they don't really do anything. They just kind of have like a banter with Dolores.
I'm dead.
Dolores.
The little sexual innuendo.
Yeah, Robert Kelly plays the cop. He's a comedian, stand-up comic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now she's there for fucking 7 days. But I love that she ends up calling her mom to help, because it's like...
Well, what else do you do, man?
Yeah, it's such the most realistic thing when it's like, all right, I tried calling the police.
She's not married, so who else could get her out?
Yeah.
A family member's the only thing.
And the mom is great, too. She kind of like marches in, like, played by Amy Irving.
At a high school.
Yeah, she like marches in. She's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to get you fresh clothes. I'm going to call the lawyer. I'm going to come back here with the FBI. Like, she's like...
all in, Mom.
She's raring to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love it. This is like exactly how moms are.
Yeah.
Right? And the mom is so confident too. She's like, don't worry about it. You know, I'll be back here. You'll be out of here in a couple hours. Because from her standpoint, which was ours as a viewer.
Yeah.
How the fuck is this possible? Like, how are you holding her at this? Like, stop. But my goodness, they have this stalker guy. He gets a job at the fucking hospital.
This fucking guy.
What's his name? David Strine. What a name.
Michael is monster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you kept... For all the 90 Day Fiance watchers out there, you kept thinking he was Michael.
Oh my God. I couldn't stop looking at it. I was like, no, this is so weird. It's not even just that he looks like him. They make the same head movements and shit.
The mannerism. Yeah,
like he'll tilt his head and do the eye roll thing, and the way his mouth, I can't. I know you're going to put the clips together.
I have to put them side by side, yeah. No, I could kind of see where you were going with it, but I don't know that I would have picked it out on my own.
Oh, my God.
Without you pointing it out first and then me having to think about it.
All I had to say was, Michael is monster.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, this fucking dude. So this is the stalker that she ran away from in the beginning.
Yeah.
He fucking finds her, and he's able to get a job at this place. In like, you know, within a day of her being there.
Yeah, like how does he even know?
I don't know. I mean, you have to assume that he was just following her the whole time and he was looking for some kind of an opening maybe.
Like, oh, she never left the building?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's some next level shit, man.
So I love the fucking scene though, where it's kind of ambiguous, right? When you think back to it.
Yeah,
because they're all in line for, they all get like their pills. Yeah. So the guy handing out all the pills is actually her stalker, David Strine, until she gets up there, and then she looks up and she sees, like, oh my God, it's fucking him. And you don't know from like, I didn't know anyway. I was like, oh wait, maybe is she actually crazy?
Yeah, is she having a psychotic break? Is it all sinking in?
Mm-hmm.
Like they do keep that first scene ambiguous enough to know,
so
like,
good.
maybe she's seeing his face, but that's not his actual face, you know? That's how I took that scene. And then it took
I loved it.
little while for me to be like, is it real? No, it's him. It's actually this fucking guy.
Right.
And it all makes sense at that point because you're like, oh my God, I'm in a mental facility against my will, essentially. What else could go wrong? Oh shit, here's my stalker and he has control over my body because he has to give me a cup of fucking pills every day.
It's a crazy nightmare of a situation.
Like, I'm not even done.
That's a nightmare of a situation.
Exactly.
Especially for a female, I'm sure.
Once I was like, oh, if they go this route, this is some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And kudos. This is some fucked up shit.
No, it definitely. So when she fucking gets the pills from him and she flips out, and I'm not sure if it's the first time or if it's the second time.
The first time is when she has the trip, and then
the trip is what I'm getting at because I love the way this is shot. It's kind of like a double exposure thing they got going on. You see the back of her head, but also her face at the same time, sort of double exposed on top of each other. And they have these really crazy camera movements. And I think what's interesting about it too is like, I don't know if it's like
it's kaleidoscope like.
Yeah, but I don't know how much of that was like part of just the iPhone 7's natural effect with the lens. If you move it a certain way, it had like a little bit of a jumpiness. I don't think it was like super smooth then.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's almost got like it's not like the frames are like kind of off blended or something like that. It just looks really neat. And I just love how it conveys like, oh shit, like he's drugged her. I love the friend, Nate, played by Jay Farrow.
Yeah.
He's the guy that sort of reveals the thing that you were talking about before of, you know, the system basically taking advantage of people just like Sawyer. Where if your insurance agrees to pay, they're going to keep you for as long as your insurance is willing to pay, and they'll find reasons to keep you
why, or the valid reasons why, I should say.
Yeah, no, I love he serves such a real purpose as a character. He's one of these characters where like you can't really pull him out of the movie. Like he needs to be there.
Yeah.
Right. I love characters like that, like these little keystones.
Yep.
Their chemistry is great between each other. And what makes this worthwhile in the end, because our fucking stalker guy ends up offing him in a very sad way.
Oh my God. It's fucked up.
But what's good about it, silver lining from an entertainment standpoint and a good movie standpoint, is that death hits you.
Yeah.
As an audience member where you're like, fuck, I cared about that guy, man.
Fuck
like,
this guy now.
Yeah, now it makes you start to really hate David Strine.
As you should, because now you realize not only is she not crazy,
right?
Like she's now not imagining it. It's that it's not even that the scenario is like she views him as a shitty guy when he's not. Like everything she's saying is just straight up reality. So that again is such a good route to go because it switches your brain immediately to like, okay, now I'm gunning for this guy to fucking die.
Oh, it's on, bitches.
Yeah. Like, nope. And then you get a great character turnaround in her as well.
Yeah. What's cool too is like, again, they do the same thing really nicely with the mom, right? Because the mom, when she comes in and she's trying to be super mom, although it's just not going the way she had thought, you start rooting for the mom immediately, where you're like, all right, mom, she's going to be like our savior on the outside of this thing that's going to help resolve it. Right. Yep. So you're rooting for mom, you're rooting for Nate. And this motherfucker, he kills her mom too on top of this.
I mean, what a fucking animal.
Yeah. I love that they don't show it too. They just show him knocking on her hotel door. Like he's pretending to be maintenance or something like that.
Y'all, you never, ever open that door. Okay?
Yeah, you immediately said, yeah, right, I would never open that door.
No, especially I'm by myself. Nope. I'd be like, I'll call downstairs. They'll tell you when to come back. Like, well, you have a lot of horror movie experience. You know all the pitfalls, right? You know them all. So when something like that comes up in real life, you know immediately, oh no, you don't open the door. Oh yeah. Like my brain
that's the last thing you
comprehend that step.
Right. You're like, no, I've seen this in a movie before and it doesn't go well.
Nope, this never goes well.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, this motherfucker, he kills Nate, he kills Mom.
Yep.
And all of this, like, in the name of a love obsession, right? And it's like, how do you expect to kill somebody's fucking mom and be like, we can get past this, we can learn to love each other? Like at that point, dude, no, I think you've crossed the line.
Yeah.
That's it,
sir. This is the end. This is it.
Like whatever little chance you had, which seemed to be none.
Yeah.
It eviscerated the moment that you killed her mom.
Walk off the cliff or push me off the cliff. Choose. But this ain't it.
That's what's great about it too, though, is like this guy is certifiably fucking insane. And he's the one who's running this fucking mental institution.
Yeah.
He should be one of the patients, and he's got this like high position of authority.
Yeah,
here.
he's like,
Oh my God.
Well, he gets that one scolding, right? The whole thing.
Oh my God, with the fucking nurse. I hate the fucking nurse.
Yeah.
That nurse is, first of all, the character in and of itself is obnoxious.
Yep.
Right? So I will grant the actress a little bit of slack there where it's like...
You didn't give me something to work with.
She's supposed to be obnoxious. She is hitting that note.
Yeah.
Right? That note's being hit every time she's on screen. Like, yeah, I get that I'm supposed to hate you, and I do immediately. But on top of that, the actress she's not a good actor. Right? I mean, I'm not even going to name her, but it was not good. It kind of took me out of it when she was... I felt like she was reading her lines.
Yeah, if you were lining up, best to worst or worst to best, like, not going to be in the top 3, I'll tell you that.
It was bothering me. It wasn't bothering you, her acting? I mean, she's not in the movie a lot.
She's not in it enough for it to bother me, but right. I know you and how you think about it. Mm-hmm. But not in it enough that it was like, oh, I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's easier said than done in my head, but I hate that you can have something that's like these movies that don't come along that often that like, okay, it's a great concept. Like it's got this like cool thing where they shot it on an iPhone and like, it's sort of like a little bit of a unicorn, right?
Yeah.
And you want it to be perfect.
Yep.
And it's just like these little flaws that get sprinkled in throughout. Plus now you totally botched the casting on this nurse. Like you should have looked at the dailies and been like, I just can't. This is distracting. We have to swap her. We need a new actor.
I was going to say, it kind of feels like the reverse happened where like maybe they had someone great and last minute dropped out or something happened. They're like, well, this woman knows the lines. And it's like, all right, just do it.
Oh my God, imagine.
Time's almost up, everybody.
Fucking hilarious. So he's basically just like manipulating and pulling all the strings here at the mental institution to get Sawyer out of there so he can take her to this fucking cabin in the wood. Like how much more creepy can you be, guy?
So, I mean,
trying to lure her into a cabin. Like after you've murdered her mom, you've got her committed to this mental institution. Now you want to take her out to a fucking cabin.
You see nothing wrong with this, sir? Jesus. Not a thing?
What
no?
A lunatic, man.
What? Like, and
I hate this guy. So he gets her sent down to solitary.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you think about this padded room? It looks like gym mats.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's just blue gym mats. I honestly at first thought she was in like a shed he built, like his fucking cabin. Like that was like, come to my cabin.
Oh my God.
And that's where she is. Like, that's what I thought at first.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like your typical padded room you would find in a professional facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually white. And it's not like gym mat pads like that. It's more kind of like pillowy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know whose idea it was to like dress this up as like our dummy padded room, but it took me out of it a little bit.
It was definitely weird, and it definitely threw you off a little bit for sure.
But now talk to me about this fucking getaway, because she basically starts, while she's in solitary and he's visiting her, she's kind of like manipulating him now, right? Into doing things that benefit her, because she's like, you know what? I'm here alone with this fucking guy. The best tool, the best weapon I have is to just outsmart him. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what you would do. Yeah,
but I said that I would have done this so much earlier.
Yeah.
Like, it was so obvious that he would have just done whatever the fuck she said.
Right.
If it was like,
he was obsessed after all.
I'll take you home right now. Like, whatever you needed to do to get out of there, do it. Just do it. It took way too long for her to get that smart. But when she did, she definitely like fucked him up pretty hardcore.
Yeah, so she's able to manipulate him into basically kidnapping Violet out of her bed in the middle of the night and bringing her down into the solitary room so he can have sex with Violet in front of her.
Yep, to prove his loyalty to her, that he would do anything for her.
Yeah, her ultimatum is basically like, all right, I'll go be with you, right? But I'm the only woman that you've ever been with. So I can't be the first and last. You have to experience something else. So I know that your love is genuine, right? That you've gone to another woman.
What a mind fuck
statement. What a mind fuck. And in his warped mind, he's like, all right, that kind of makes sense. I have to prove my love to her. But he's kind of disgusted by the idea. But nonetheless, she convinces him to do this. And he brings Violet down. They're in the room, all three of them now in that ugly padded room, throws her down and proceeds to kind of start to get rapey.
Yep.
Right?
But at least at this point, she had, the plan of like, okay, I'm not actually going to let that happen.
He kind of starts to try to do it and he's really struggling. And she's like, okay, now I can get on top of Violet and I can get her fucking shank.
Yep. And that's what it was all about.
Because Violet carries a fucking shiv in her pajama pants.
The fucking shiv.
I mean, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah, that's 100%. She was really working hard at that thing.
Yeah, but now explain to me, like.
But here's the thing:
she stabs him in the fucking neck with that.
Yeah.
Thing. And it barely phases him.
Hardly, because not only does it. Maybe for that split second he fell. Okay, great. But then he can magically drive a fucking car?
Yeah, he basically doesn't even stitch himself up either.
Yeah,
he just puts a bandage on it.
Yeah, like one of those white fucking dollar store things.
Granted, it is still sort of leaking out of the bandage, so they don't ignore the fact that his neck is bleeding out.
Yeah, but
the fact that he's able to function at the level that he's able to function losing that much blood,
driving,
you would be so lightheaded and unable to. But he's not only that. Before he even captures her and they're in the getaway car and he's driving away. Right away after she stabs him, he has like all the strength in the world to just snap Violet's neck with minimal effort.
Yeah, we totally skipped over that. But that was the part that I was getting at, is that I don't think she meant for Violet to get harmed. Mm-hmm. She just wanted to steal her shiv.
No, she didn't want her to die.
Yeah.
She was thinking, I can stab him and kill him and Violet will be okay and I can run away.
Exactly. And then that scene makes that so much more horrific because she's still responsible for this girl's death.
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. He's a very unassumingly violent guy, right? He doesn't look like he would be, but he kind of pulls it off. It's a good casting, I think.
100%.
So when they're driving away, he puts her in the trunk and she finds
some M&M shit.
She finds her mother's body.
Oh, again, on the list of things I'm never going to fucking do. Mm-mm. I'm thrown in somebody's trunk and I see a bag next to me.
And it's your dead mother.
No, but she ripped it open. Mm-hmm. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
You are in a small space and
I don't know
whatever's in there.
if she ripped it open. I feel like there might have been a little.
No.
I think she saw like the flesh from behind and she was like,
pretty sure she ripped it open, but very high on my list.
Of do not do.
No.
Yeah. I got you. Absolutely horrific. And she ends up being able to get out of the trunk somehow. I don't know how she gets out of the trunk, but she's able to get the door open.
She was kicking it.
Savagely just fucking jumps out the moving car. She's like, nope.
Not today.
Out of this fucking bullshit. And he stops and he chases her and, she ends up, getting the jump on him again. It's just about her outsmarting him over and over again. That's basically, they kind of hit that note a bunch of times in the movie, which to me was like, I don't know, the way this one wraps up doesn't quite, it's not as strong as how it starts.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the climax, the build to it is still really, really good. It's just like I kind of have a problem with the resolution. It just sort of hangs where it's like I kind of know where it's going to go, and it just takes a while getting to where I already know it's going to go.
Yeah.
But
I get what you're saying.
There's enough cool shit in there where it's like I still really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. Same.
All right. So are you ready to close out with this new game?
I am.
So let's do this. I'm going to try to be very careful about this because I had to throw this together as a visual for you in the last minute because I'm showing you pictures essentially. And like I said, these are celebrities and the gender has been swapped. So you have to guess who the celebrity is.
All right.
All right. So this first one, I think you're going to guess. But who is that?
Miley Cyrus.
That's Miley Cyrus. I thought a pretty douchey looking guy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like Eminem meets Jesse from Breaking Bad.
I see that actually.
Like 8 Mile Eminem.
Yeah. I was like, she might just get this just because she might recognize like the pose in the background.
I do actually.
Yeah. This is why it's bad because you know all the celebrity photos.
Yeah. God, I have such a trash repertoire.
I think this one is really easy, but again, like,
okay,
I didn't have time.
But they're just funny.
They're funny.
Vince Vaughn.
That is easily.
Oh
Vince
my
Vaughn, right?
God, Vince Vaughn and Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah, it is like a merging of the two. See, you have this good thing with faces.
I don't know. It's so weird.
Now that you've said Kamala Harris, I can see it. I love how like they like raise like the cheekbones.
They whiten the
slightly.
teeth.
It's amazing.
Fucking
They gave him more teeth. All right, this one's very easy too.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes. Looks like should be in a boy band.
Oh my God.
Right?
A British one.
A British boy. Yes.
A One Direction.
Yeah. That's exactly who that guy is.
Yep. It could be her with Harry Styles.
All right, who's this one?
Kerry Russell.
No, it looks like Kerry Russell. Who's the male?
Oh my God! It's American Psycho, Christian Bale.
It's Christian
Son
Bale.
of a bitch! What? Yo, that just tripped me up.
You thought it was Kerry Russell
because I just got pulled out of it.
How funny is that?
Oh, what? See, I would have said that looks like Christian Bale mixed with Kerry Russell.
There you go.
Oh my God, dead.
I see. I knew you were gonna get all.
That
of
was
these.
a good one.
Who's this?
Amy Poehler.
Yes. And I thought this guy is a huge fucking asshole, right?
There's someone now that I think of like
that guy looks
Amy
like
Poehler and someone else.
That guy looks like a fucking asshole.
He does.
He's probably not. He's probably the nicest guy ever. He just looks that way. Right?
He definitely looks like the guy gunning for your promotion at the magazine company.
Yeah, I just love how like they make like this eye a little more squinty and evil because she's kind of doing a little bit of a stink eye.
This looks like Amy Poehler and the guy who plays. He's in
Gordon
Boardwalk
Ramsay.
Empire. No.
Oh shit! It is. How did you do that?
Right?
Yes. What's his name?
Shit.
I love that guy. He's a great actor. Yeah, that is who that is. Wow. All right.
Yo, this is a talent. I should have a game show of this.
All right. Who's this?
Bradley Cooper.
Yes. Bradley Cooper. Who? I don't know. I kind of expected it would be a hotter girl, but it's not.
Yeah. He's not the greatest man.
No, he's not.
Looks wise.
No. He kind of looks kind of
I
a little
love
bit.
him.
He looks a little bit like a bird,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But at least I'll give him this. It's like one of those predator birds, right? He looks like a hawk or like an eagle or something like that. It's not the worst thing.
I'm trying to think
There's
about
some majesty in that.
this. I would say this looks like Bradley Cooper mixed with Lisa Kudrow.
I don't know if I see Lisa Kudrow.
No.
I do see somebody familiar, but I can't I can't
know.
pull it out.
It was like Giada or Courtney Cox. It's like that
it
very
could be a
sharp
lot.
chin.
Yeah. All right, who's this?
This one's tough.
This one was one of the harder ones.
Drew Barrymore?
It is Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
That's a nice pull.
Yo. It was
Now,
the eyes. The eyes
I
got
thought
me.
this transformation was all. It looks like a completely different person almost.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
It looks like the newest Late Show host.
Right? That looks like a real guy.
Yep.
I was amazed by that one.
The eyes gave it away for me.
I think that's most of the time your greatest anchor to like pulling out who it is in the eyes.
Yeah.
But the nose too. There's like a little bit, just the center of the face is really what you
Yeah,
got to
because
focus on.
if the nose was different in that one, I probably wouldn't have
All
said
right,
it.
who's that?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's Chris Cornell.
Yeah, fucking
Okay.
smoking hot chick.
First of all,
I-
Chris Cornell mixed with, oh my God, what the girl who was in the movie with Ben Affleck and then got more popular over time.
Rebecca Hall.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Boom.
a smoking hot chick. I would totally be into Lady Cornell.
Thank you for that.
This would be, I would have a crush on this girl for sure.
It's great to know.
It's amazing. Well, because I have a crush on Chris Cornell, so it doesn't really matter. It makes sense.
One of your man crushes.
Absolutely a man crush of mine. All right, so who is this? I think this one was easy too.
Ugh. Your favorite.
Well,
Cameron
no,
Diaz.
Not my favorite. But yes, it's Cameron Diaz.
Oh, you picked a real shit photo too.
Well, you know
This
what?
is Cameron Diaz and David Beckham.
Yeah, it is. You know what it is with the girls? I kind of have to be a little more selective and try to get like with their hair up or like shorter haircuts
yeah.
because it has trouble painting out all the hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a lot of the time I don't have like I have to like it's not the best photo, but you get the picture.
It's still hilarious.
Yeah. All right, who is this? This is the last one.
Oh my God, what the fuck is his name? Hal on Malcolm in the Middle.
It's Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston.
Amazing, I thought. That was a great transformation too.
Yeah, the mouth. This is the mouth that gave it to me first.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a very crooked smile, kind of smirky thing
and
that he
the way
does. And the
his
dimples.
dimple skins are.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's where that is. And then I looked at the eyes and I was like, yup.
No, I mean, that's amazing. Again, I thought this one was like, oh, I could see that being a real
Oh,
woman,
100%.
right?
It's like his sister. Me and my sister went
I love
on
how
a
they,
bank
like-
robber spree.
I love how they paint out the t-shirt and they
Yeah.
just make it flesh tone and then they just shade it. This is all AI, by the way. How fucking creepy
Yo,
is
can
that?
you do this of your own face?
And then they just sort of like distort this area to give her like a little bit of a bust.
Can you do this to your own face?
Yeah.
Yo, we gotta do that.
Mm-hmm.
See what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody interested in doing, I think it's called FaceApp is the name of the application on iPhone. The one thing that's kind of annoying about FaceApp though is they kind of make you do a subscription thing, so they give you a free trial in the beginning. Like,
All right, well, I need one.
yeah, so I think you can, you know, it's one of those novelties that will probably like last about a couple days and then you're like, I'm over this. So a 7-day trial I think is more than
great.
enough if you want to play around with it.
Yeah.
I think you could do like, you could change your age, you can change, you can add a beard onto yourself, glasses, all this kind of shit.
Fancy.
Whatever. It's like Snapchat, but independent of Snapchat. It's all those
Snapchat
fucking
more
filters.
without bunny ears
Yeah.
or rainbows.
Yeah. So maybe we'll play that again next week.
I love
if
that.
You like that game?
Yeah, it's a good
All
one.
right. So maybe we'll play that for next game night with our special guest.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Oh, by the way, we have to announce the last two head-to-head winners because usually, you know, that's all the marbles. You know, we play for head-to-head. That's how we determine who wins and loses.
That is fair.
So-
I mean, it's a very ongoing game. And now
you
that
don't
you
remember
mention
who
it,
won?
No, why would I remember?
Oh my God.
Well, I remember the most recent one, and now I have to remember the one before that. But that's why we have these set up on our handy dandy Instagram page.
Best horror masks. Yep.
All right, so for that one,
Best horror masks?
Yep. It was Team Me.
Damn. Leatherface put you over the top, probably.
What? No, that's you, babe. You're me.
Oh, I thought you said
no,
me
Team
as in...
Me. That's you.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wait, what?
It's funny because with you saying me, I just assume you're talking about you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Nope. That was your big win, my friend. Then for the most recent one.
This was breakfast foods.
Yeah. And this was a very special.
Chopped cheese.
The chopped cheese. Chopped cheese. Thanks for the laughs there, Mike. And this one was a little bit tougher because I had to look at this one from a different type of polling. But this one ended up being me.
Me as in me?
Me as in myself.
Oh,
I didn't say team me.
Oh, that's the differentiator.
Yeah.
Team me versus me.
Yeah.
So you won the breakfast foods.
I won breakfast foods.
All right. Was it by a lot? Was it close?
It was close to you.
Close to me.
Yep, Mike, you didn't do so well on this one. Gotta get a little less specific, little less. Do less.
Listen, the man knows what he likes, and that's what he's going with.
The blueberry cornbread muffin and the chopped cheese.
I also realized, I was like, I wonder if Michael even knows what Eggs Benedict is.
Oh my goodness.
When I drafted it, I was like, I wonder if he even knows what that is.
Yeah.
I hope he does, because it is delicious.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. All right. So that'll do we know what the overall score is on head to head now? Are you up by one?
I think I might be up by one now.
Okay.
But we'll post it after. Once the head to head goes live.
All right. All right. That's it. So next time we'll be back with game night number 2.
And another special guest.
Yeah. All right. Remember, we don't give awards for art.